actually not much of a cook, but several years ago I got really lucky with creating a dish that my family really enjoys. So tonight I'm going to demonstrate to you how to make my famous raspberry chicken. So the first and most important thing you're going to need is chicken. I choose skinless, boneless chicken because it just makes it much simpler. You can debone and remove the skin if you want to have a less expensive dinner. You'll also need raspberry vinaigrette dressing. This one actually is raspberry walnut vinaigrette dressing. You'll need sun-dried tomatoes and my favorite, pine nuts, which gives it some texture. And to give it a little zest, you'll put a little Worcestershire sauce. And the most important ingredient of all is a little Moscato wine. So the first thing that you're going to do, of course we have olive oil and a little garlic salt too. So we're going to, in a skillet on medium, I'm going to put just about a capful or a little more of olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and do 2. And none of my recipe is written down, so I just simply go by memory each time, so each time it may be a little bit different. I pre-washed the chicken, and you'll always want to wash your chicken before you cook. I usually take the chicken and do about 3 strips, or 3 pieces out of 1 breast. So I'll add this. And remove any fat. Makes it just a nicer cut. So this will go into the skillet. I'm going to turn that down a notch. This is a gas stove and it gets really, really hot. It has an open flame. So I'm going to cut it down just a little. If you have electric, then you can use a higher temperature. If you want a quicker meal to where your chicken cooks a lot faster and you're in a hurry, you can always spend a little bit more money and get chicken strips already cut. They're a little thinner, less dense, and they'll cook a lot faster. So this one I'm struggling with a little bit. Sometimes there's a little thread of fat there that can be cut off. You can serve this with pasta or with rice. My family tends to lean towards rice. So I'll make rice and maybe asparagus or a salad with it. There's absolutely no batter to this. This is pure chicken breast without batter. And I won't season the chicken until it's about halfway cooked. Most of the seasoning will come from the dressing and the Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to remove that 1 section there, like that, and we'll add the last 3 pieces. Now I'm going to wash my hands. Chicken can, of course, cross-contaminate, so you want to be sure that you keep everything separate. So I'm just going to remove everything that was related to the actual chicken and wash again just for safety. can hear that sizzling. The gas stove tops are really hot. So I'm probably going to turn that down a little bit until I get my sauces in, which will cool the temperature down a bit. So first I'm going to take the wine. I just basically cover the chicken. And then I will take the dressing. I don't measure anything, so this is all just by memory. This is really pink, and it will turn your chicken a raspberry color, hence the word raspberry. So this will go here. What you want to do is create a juice or sauce in the chicken. And that's when you'll add your pine nuts and your sun-dried tomatoes. You don't want to add too soon because you don't want them to be soggy, especially the pine nuts. So the next thing we're going to do is I like to use tongs just to turn the chicken. And now that you can see that it's not sizzling quite so much. So what I will do now is turn the heat back up again. Between the wine and the dressing, it cooled the temperature down enough to where it's a little bit calmer. And that way the outside of the chicken doesn't cook too quickly without giving the inside adequate time. Now I'm going to go ahead and season the chicken a little, and I'll do that with a little garlic salt, not too much. Just enough to taste. It's not coming out real easy. There we go. And now we'll put some Worcestershire sauce. People usually have a love-hate relationship with this. We've used it for years for different dishes, but it does give it a tangy flavor. It changes it up a little. I'm guessing that was about 1/4 of a cup. And the idea here is just to keep turning the chicken so that it cooks evenly, and then add the liquid sauces as needed so that whenever you add the sun-dried tomatoes and the pine nuts, that you have them covered, or at least almost completely covered. And then it'll make like a nice gravy to go over the rice. So sometimes we'll serve it piece of chicken on the bed of rice, and then the sun-dried tomatoes and pine nut syrup mixed. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on just because this isn't part of our demonstration, but we want to make bread to go along with the chicken. Okay, one thing that I am going to add that I forgot was just a little sprinkle of pepper. And now it's time to add the sun-dried tomatoes and the pine nuts. So So you will basically just have a little difficulty finding room for them, but just lay them on any area that you can, and then once you start turning your chicken again, it will cover up the sun-dried tomatoes, and they'll get a real nice soft texture. Here is the pine nuts, which pine nuts are very expensive. You can substitute if you like with pistachios or almonds, any kind of nuts, but I think pine nuts are best.
Walnuts would be good.
And then you'll flip your chicken again, and you'll see how it will eventually cover up your sun-dried tomatoes. And you'll just let this saute until everything is tender, and you'll serve with rice, asparagus, a salad, and rolls, and you have a full meal. And this is just all of the ingredients you can see that are included in the raspberry chicken.
Hello,
You can
Casey.
enjoy this with your family.